It's the brother Kadash bringing this truth to you. I believe I'm gonna start making these videos about world news. You know, I'm tired of arguing about doctrine and just doing stuff for clout and views. I just want to start speaking more about world news in a biblical perspective. So Prepper News, I believe his name used to be Canadian Prepper, I believe. Is that him? Yeah, I think Canadian Prepper. I've been watching this channel for a while, and a lot of people kind of get turned off with his channel because every other month event happen, he says this is the beginning of World War III. But it's kind of like, well, you just said last month that another event was the beginning of World War III, for example. And I'll show you that I watch his channel and been watching it for a long time. For example, he said with the whole Iran thing, if America went over there and bombed their military bases, that was possibly going to start World War III. He said with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, when that first started happening, that was going to possibly start World War III, and that in 72 hours Russia's going to nuke Ukraine, or Russia's going to use a technical nuke or something like that, and it never happened, man. And that brings me to the whole reason of me making this video. This is what the Bible says, which I'm gonna get a Bible verse, but just to break it down, what's going on in the world is so clear to see. So I don't know if these guys are agents that set up, or if he's just totally informed. His channel make it seems like Russia is going to go to war. Russia and China is going to have a world war with America and Israel. You know, and you got different players on different sides. Newsflash, that is not going to happen. And we was taught coming up in the truth that Russia is going to nuke America. If Russia drops a nuke on America, it's an inside job. What's going on in the world is you have Russia, you have America, you have China. Those are the three major superpowers. Those three major superpowers are working together. They are on one accord. The goal, you have to remember their goal. Their goal is one world order. You cannot have a one world order with Russia going to World War III trying to destroy, and Russia and America destroying each other. The only scenario you will have that is Russia, America, China. They all destroy the whole world, and then after that, there's a government that raises from the ashes, which is, some people call it a cabal. Some people say it's a breakaway civilization. Some people say it's the rich banker families. Some people call them elites. Let's just use the word elites. But that would be the hard way of going about things, because that control could slip out your hand. Now, if they got the technology, they reduce the world back to stone ages, and then they come out with all the technology that they were able to secure, then they take control of everything. But why would they want to reduce the world through nuclear missiles and lose all this and just take thousands of steps back when they already got control of the world? Let me break it down to you. Russia, China, America are all on the same team. They all are one accord. They are allies. What their job is to do is to confuse the world, and what's the word I'm missing? Their job is to deceive the world into thinking. That's why I say I don't know if he's an agent or he's just misinformed. Their job is to deceive the world into thinking that they're fighting against each other when they not. You don't see neither one of these companies shooting missiles, drones, or nukes on each other. You see none of these countries actually going to war against each other, but they make it seem like anytime we could go to war with each other. But what do you see these countries actually doing? You see America going and pretty much conquering the smaller countries around it. They're going to conquer Canada. What did Trump say? Trump said Canada should be a part of America. They're constantly threatening Mexico with the cartels. We could come in and take out the cartels, which really they gonna take out the Mexico power structure, because the cartels have already infiltrated Mexico power structure. So you can't take out the cartels without taking out Mexico power structure, right? And you see what they're doing with Venezuela. They already have threatened some of the other smaller countries that are around, and their presidents or leaders. They have already threatened them, and they're going to go one by one, and they're going to conquer the whole Western world to be under one umbrella, America. Pretty much. Whether it's set up, it sounds like that. Whether or not these countries have puppet governments that is really controlled by America, is going to be under America's power. You see the same thing that's going to happen in Europe. Russia is going to go conquer those smaller countries around one by one. It might take 100 years to do it, 1,000 years. I don't know how long their plan is, but I know they're running out of time. Where Russia is going to conquer all Europe, and it's going to be under one. And then China's job is to conquer all of Asia under one. And then at the end, and then you got different interests that are in Africa. You know, that's pretty interesting to see if maybe they're all going to attack Africa in different ways to conquer it into one. And then in the Middle East, you have Israel with the help of like America and stuff like that, and Saudi Arabia, that is going to conquer the whole Middle East and become one. And then at the end, you're going to have all these major countries that are already working together come together as one world government, one world order. That's the play. The play is to deceive you thinking that these major superpower countries are fighting against each other, when really all they're doing is just picking on the weak countries around them and absorbing them, so they can get that much closer to their one world government. They have the technology now. They have the Palantir. They have the AI technology. They got shit that they're holding back for this one world government time, that if they reveal to us right now, it would look like magic. They already have it. The ships that you're seeing, the UFOs, some of them, I would say some of them, the UFOs that you're seeing running around, that's them. That's the technology that they got already. They are going to have AI judges set up, world judges, that's completely ran by AI, artificial intelligence. It's no human involved. They're going to have major data centers around. They're not going to have the problem with money and inflation anymore. Everything's going to be digital coin. They're going to have Palantir. They're going to have predictive programming, predictive, all type of stuff, man. They're going to have complete power over the world. They're going to have camera systems that could track you anywhere on this world, satellite systems. Some of the products that Elon Musk is creating, the cars, the satellite systems, Starlink, the narrow link in the brain. They're gonna have all this technology that they're ready for. Their job is to come on one accord, have one world government, one world order. That's the goal. I definitely think they're gonna have a population reduction, and then they're gonna start revealing this advanced technology that they got, because their job is to get the world under one world order, one world government, which gives them godlike power, and to translate the humans into the next phase. See, that's what they're doing. They're getting ready for the next phase. They want to translate humans from being, biological, natural humans to merging with technology. They desires is to be able to travel the solar system, man, the universe, if at that. But in order to do that, everybody has to get on one accord, get power to them, and you have to merge with advanced technology. You have to merge with artificial intelligence. You have to merge with robots to be able to do some of these things. They could send a robot to Mars right now. It's hard to send a human to Mars. unless that human merges with a robot, and then they can send it to Mars. You see what I'm saying? So what they're doing is translating to the next phase of human evolution. And that's all biblical, because it's all predicted in the Bible that it was going to happen. But just back to the point is that the deception is that these countries are going to go to World War III and destroy each other, and they're fighting against each other. That's not the truth. These countries are on one accord, and the only thing that's going to stop them is what we would call the Lord, but the world would call advanced civilization that's returning to go to war with the inhabitants of Earth. This is Psalms 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Right? They're lifting up their head. They're bucking against the Lord. They saying, we got godlike power now. We have this AI technology. We could rebel against the Lord now. Because in Bible prophecy, there's a war in the heavens. What do you think that war? The war in the heavens is not Russia versus America. The war in the heavens is the Lord and the angels against the leaders and their armies, the kings and the armies of the earth. We know what the kings and the armies of the earth is. But some people would say the Lord and the angels. Today they would say advanced civilization, or they may say a lost civilization. They may say an alien civilization that's coming back to make war with Earth. Just like the movie Independence Day. But they have to get ready for that war. They don't want to be under God's control and power. They want to rebel and fight against the Lord. But in order to do that, they have to get everybody on one accord, under one world order, one world government, so they could advance their technology to the level where they feel comfortable and they feel like they could beat the advanced civilization that's coming back, that actually owns the earth. But this advanced civilization has a connection to certain people on the earth, and those certain people are the people of Israel. Not the Jewish man, but the real descendants of Israel that's going to be revealed during these times. They have connections to that advanced civilization, which we call God and the angels, that is on their way back. But they're going to try to fight against. Let's keep reading. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. See, the Israelites today, the true Israelites today, are the hidden ones. It's right under your nose. Everybody know who they are. It's the people that America goes out their way to oppress more than any other people on earth. It's the people that America have here in their prisons, and even America, which is an open air prison, that they have right under their nose, monitoring everything they're doing every second. You know who those people are. You would call them minorities. Blacks and Latinas. Look at the history of the blacks and Latinas. It's going to reveal to you that these are the people that the Bible called the Israelites. That's their number one fear. Many presidents have said it. The number one fear is a black Messiah. That's their number one fear. Not Russia, not China, not Venezuela. Their number one fear is a black Messiah. Or really, it's just the uprising of a black nation. A powerful black nation. That's what they call us, black. But it's really an Israelite nation. But they know that these people got a connection with this advanced civilization that's returning. So that's why they taking crafty counsel against us and our God. It says, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. So let me ask you a question. Did the blacks, African Americans in America, were they cut off from being a nation? Yes. Did the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance? Amongst them, amongst us, the name of Israel was not in remembrance, not meaning literally like we don't remember the name Israel, that we were no longer being called Israel. We are now called blacks, African Americans. That's the name being stripped away from us. That's us being cut off as a nation of Israel. Now we're just blacks or African Americans. Two different continents. But this is the point, verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are not against each other. That's confusion and definition. Which I'm stumbling on my words a little bit, but it's them deceiving. They're making it seem like they're against each other, but they're not. The Bible tells us that they are consulted together on with one consent at that. They are confederate against thee. And then it names the nations. The tabernacles of Edom, which is number 1. The Ishmaelites, so Saudi Arabia and the Arabs, which go back to the Ishmaelites, and the Edomites, the Edom, which are the so-called Europeans. Moab, which is so-called, you got a Moabite stone that goes back to the Chinese, that goes back to the Asians. And the Hagarnes, and this also goes into different African nations. Is there a difference between Africans and Israelites? Is there a difference between Canaan and Israel? Gabal, Ammon, that's the rest of the Asians, Japanese. Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joining to them. They have hoping the children of Salah do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to the Caesarea, as to Jabin at the brook of Kashan. But it's just naming off all these different nations that are confederate together. They not against each other. They are working together. They are confederate under one consent against the Israelites. So that's why you see America taking over these smaller countries. That's why you see Russia taking over these smaller countries. That's why you finna see China. They finna go into Taiwan and pretty much take that over. That's why you finna see China starting to take over these smaller countries, and they're not going to stop expanding. None of those three countries are going to stop expanding. And then even in the Middle East, Israel, you see Israel, what they're doing to the Palestinians, what they're trying to do to Iran. None of those countries are going to stop expanding. When Russia takes Ukraine, they're not done yet. They're not done yet. They're going to move to their next target to take. When China takes Taiwan, they're not done yet. They're going to move to their next target to take. When America takes Venezuela, they're not done yet. The president already started naming out other places. He said that pretty much on his watch list, Mexico. They already talk about Canada already becoming a part of America. I think it was it Cuba that he was talking about, or Colombia, one of those. He already got a whole watch list of he already revealed who's next. After Venezuela, Venezuela's not the last stop. They're gonna keep expanding. And because they're all together on one consent, and then what they're gonna do is once they all have conquered their own regions that they have to conquer, they're all gonna come together under one government. Salvation to the elect.